All right. Guys, welcome to On the Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. We're here with Big O and Coach J. We have a show today. We're a little behind on some of our shows. We do want to apologize. We have got behind because of the basketball playoffs, kind of put us in a bind with these Thursday games. Thursday's usually our recording night. So here we are. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We are a man short today, but that's okay. Let's just get right into it. You know, we like to start with the achievements and announcements. The first achievement, it seems like it's been forever ago, but Keaton Bristow, 2,100 career points, 500 career rebounds. That's pretty impressive.
It's a good career right there.
Yeah. And what I learned today is that those these awards and these points are varsity only. So this isn't, through junior high or through JV or anything like that. These are varsity only career points. So for those of you who didn't know, including myself, there you go. Another one, Grant Cox from Holiday, another big milestone, 500 rebounds. He's the banger down low, him and Ashton and Keaton. I mean, they just, again, I saw him last night. They just, one shot is all you get.
I love to see the rebounds and assists records start popping up because
it's the hard work.
Even us, we get too much into points all the time. I love to start seeing 500 rebounds, 1,000 assists, all that type of stuff because, as we know, it's a lot more to basketball than getting the bucket.
Yeah, for sure. And then Aiden White, sophomore over in Burke, reached his 1,000 point in that win 2 games ago.
That's impressive too.
Yeah.
A sophomore, 1,000 points. He's turning it up.
Yeah, it's something.
He's turning it up big time. That's 1,000 points as a sophomore. If things continue to work out the way it's supposed to work, he's on track to be another one of those 2,000 points kids.
That means a lot. From knowing that kid and coaching that kid from 3rd, 4th grade means a lot. I know how hard that kid works and how much work he puts into it and how much of a hooper he is. I know that meant a lot. I think he messaged me probably 2 minutes ago and asked me if he think he could get it. And of course, the coach in me told him, don't worry about it, just let it naturally happen. But it definitely meant something for him.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's always in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, as all these kids. I mean, you don't get these kind of milestones without being in the gym. You don't. It's just, I don't know. They're crazy to even think about. What like you said, it's cool that they're keeping other stats. Start seeing these other stats coming up.
Definitely. It's encouraging to tell the kids, hey, it's not all about that.
Steals too.
Yeah, steal everything. Charges.
And
anything.
I
you
think
can do
with
to help the team.
the advancement of our video and technology and stuff, like you see the huddle come out the last couple of years, really doing a good job of getting those stats out to coaches that they're going to have better numbers and more accurate numbers and more statistics to put out. So that's always that.
One thing to add to that is that we are hard on the schools that we support. We're on their tail about praising these kids and doing what's right and broadcasting these kids' talents. And I want to say a good job for the schools too. The banners, the making time for it. The coaches in the school could be like, that's selfish, or what I mean. They couldn't embrace this stuff like they are doing. So we need to tell them good job too, to making a deal, keeping the stats, making it a big deal as we see the posts, the pictures before game or after game with their teammates or just by themselves. That's big time for the schools to embrace the individual part of the game too.
Yeah, I think some schools could probably do a little better job with their banners, but we won't mention any names. But I mean, they are really cool. The one of Aiden,
that was cool.
With him, holding up his shot, like that was pretty dope.
I think what happened with the schools too is spare the moment they do the little cardboard thing, and then I think each kid, for the most part, gets something unique.
Yeah, they'll probably get something like.
One thing too that I want to say while we're talking about these achievements is I would like to see more, because I've paid attention as I've been going to these playoff games. The record boards. I think every school should try to have that type of thing posted where, as a freshman, as I'm coming in, I see, okay, our scoring leader for this school is this amount of points. It gives you something to want to achieve, because I think if you give me something to shoot for, I think you get more out of me.
Yeah.
Just having the record boards visible versus, and I can understand it from a coach standpoint. You don't want it to be a distraction, but you also, I think it can give you an opportunity for the players to see that, and it gives them something to chase after. Because if I'm Aiden, and let's just say I don't know what Burke's record is, but say it's Jay, Jay Gould has a record, and it's my coach. I got an opportunity to break his record. Like that's that much more motivation. Like, so I think schools should have that visible for these kids to see, so that they'll have something not only to work for wins, but also self-accomplishments as well.
Jeff knows when TJ broke my scoring record 2 years ago, he knew it. First of all, he got close a couple times that year, and the first thing he did walking off the court was point at me and laugh and talk a little trash to me.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's a big thing. That's the best thing that I loved about Burke was the wall. Was the wall of fame with the pictures and everything right there. It means so much. Like I wasn't a Burke. I didn't grow up in Burke. So I had no clue about its importance, but it meant something when you walk back and that picture's up there, and you can see kind of where you measured up. And my thing wasn't a statistical thing. I was all about winning. So I knew Matt Gissam at the time had led the school in wins, and I wanted that record. I only had it for a year and a half because Darrell Gibbs came right behind me and took it from me. But I remember walking by that and counting the wins. Like, I'm getting that. Like, I'm gonna be the most winningest player.
Yeah, I saw a really good one at Graham. I spent a couple nights in Graham this week, and their wall. I mean, they got everything up there. I mean, like track, weightlifting. I mean. Everything. I mean, it was crazy. It was a good one. But yeah, that's a pretty
Hershey
cool.
does a really big. They got the big banners of their players that played college sports and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we'll go to announcements. The All-Star game. We all some invites have gone out this week. First round of invites. This is, we want to do something big for the kids that have been, on our list all year long, and. Just something fun for them to get out and to compete against, the other kids that they don't normally or wouldn't normally get to compete against. It's not an attempt to, line kids up against each other, but it is kind of fun to see how one will line up against another. It's not an attempt to force that, but I don't know. I think we just want to do a fun thing about it to get it it going. And
celebrating. As I was on the way up here, and somebody was talking about that, how much a person is more willing to do things or more willing to work harder if they're celebrated a little bit. And we're hard on these kids about working hard, and some of those kids do work. All of those kids work really hard, and they need to be celebrated from their own crowds, from their own area. And I think all three of us and the rest of our crew wants to put it on an event that show, hey, we care, we love y'all, and y'all deserve to be celebrated and have the best of the best things. You don't got to go to the city to get that stuff.
Yeah, celebration, I think for me, it's also the celebration component of it, but also too, just if I was a kid growing up in this community, and it would push me to drive. I have something to look forward to. I might have didn't make the cut this year, but just because and that's one thing I do want to say, just because you didn't make the All-Star team doesn't mean that you're not an All-Star. It just means that, hey, you put in a little bit more work, gives you something to chase after. I'm big on those things, chasing after things. If I can see something that I have something to motivate me, because that's really what we're trying to do, is just to motivate these kids to give maximum effort all the time. So there's kids that can make it. With every list, there's going to be people where people feel kids did make it. Maybe this kid should have made it. But the one thing that I do like is that we're giving opportunity not only to the upperclassmen, but we're giving opportunity to the young ones as well, because we want them to be celebrated just as much because they're putting the work in. So everything that we do is about putting the work in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we said, the first round of invites went out. It is going to be a limited number of participants. So we've got some responses already from some players that say, hey, we want to do it. Obviously, it's hard to predict their schedule this far out. June 8th is a whiles away, but it'll be here quicker than you know.
Oh, real quick, especially when schedules get filled. Like, we got a lot of kids. All those are most of the hoopers on that list are going to be playing travel basketball.
Yeah.
Some of them getting ready for college. So
yeah,
it's
and
gonna
so
come quick.
The idea is, we'll just give a quick rundown. We're going to get jerseys made. We obviously want to give them, the athletes who've worked hard all year, like we're talking, something to kind of remember it. So the idea is to have some jerseys made for both two sides, 2 teams of girls and 2 teams of boys. They're going to play each other at the end of the night. How it's going to go is that there may be some events to lead up in the morning time, some showcase games from a couple travel teams from OWE and some opponents that we're bringing in to really just make it a full day of basketball. Something that people can come and go if they want. We might set up some vendors, hopefully have some concession, everything going on. And, we want to do some awards and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a great day. Hopefully a lot of people will come out. It's going to be a big event, and we'll celebrate
a basketball festival.
We just want to celebrate the players that have been, working hard all year. Other than that, I think that's the only thing. We do have a recruitment seminar coming soon. Coach Evan Hearn is out today for this episode, so he'll touch more on that. And we do have some other big things coming with that. We were reached out to by an individual who is a Wichita Falls legend. We won't put out any names just yet, but we are excited about that as well. Let's see what's next. I guess we can get right into this. So we're going to be discussing today a couple hot topics that have gone on in the last couple weeks since our last podcast. One of the things is we had some issues with some referees throwing out fans. We kind of had this all year, and even the Referees Association has put that thing out this year saying,
it's a hot topic for sure.
Don't harass us or we're going to kick you out, and eventually nobody's going to get to watch basketball live. So the referee harassment is something that we wanted to bring up and kind of give our 2 cents about it, but also to realize that when you go to a game, you're trying to celebrate the players that are playing. And this is my opinion, when you're yelling at referees, they're not going to, first of all, most of all, a lot of times, unless you're just really obnoxious, they don't hear you. They're not going to hear you. They're not going to take your word into consideration. But when it gets to the point where they have to throw people out, like you're just taking away from the sport, in my opinion. I don't like it, and I'll give you my reason why I don't like people yelling so much at the refs. I used to do it. I still do from time to time, but I volunteered to be a ref at a 3v3 tournament that we did a few years ago. And this was like a fundraiser event, okay? And I'm not a ref. I just volunteered because we didn't have enough people there. So I get up and I'm doing it, and I'm being yelled at over a little 3-on-3 fundraiser event that we're having fun. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never. I'm never going to volunteer to be a ref. So those guys have a tough job as it is. They're only human. They're not going to get everything correct. I see the comments. I see everybody talking about it. We want everything to be nice and fluid and, from one place to another. But I think we're expecting too much from the refs, or we're expecting too much from the refs. What are your thoughts?
So my opinion on it is, I agree with a lot of what Jeff is saying, but my personal opinion on it is they do have a job to do there, especially when it comes down to these big games and playoffs and things like this, because it makes and break you. And a lot of people don't understand playoff victories equate to money for your district, money for your school, your programs. So the thing that I would say is I understand, I just feel that in everything that you do, you're going to be criticized and critiqued on. Whether you're a marketing director for a Fortune 500, when you put out those ads and things, people look at it, they're going to have something to say about it. To me, the respect is how you do it. I think that's part of the game. Fans are going to be intense. They're going to be calls don't go their way. That's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can be how you do it, the respect,
good point.
the respect level of it. But also too, I think parents can be kicked out for saying this, saying that, but nobody ever holds their refs accountable for when it's blatantly they're not getting it right. That's the only thing that I think UIL has to figure out. How do we fix the blatantness of, or TASO or whatever the organizations are, how do we fix and that's just, I hate to call it corruption because I don't think it's corruption. How do we fix the issues with referees? Because I feel like personally it's almost like they deboed the public with the whole
Yeah, for sure.
but you close your mouth or we won't be there type situation. So I think there has to be some accountability held with them as well, because I think as a fan, you're there, you see stuff by nature, especially if you're a competitor, you're frustrated. Yeah, you start saying stuff, but I'm just not big on taking it too far. You know when it's going too far. And one thing I do want to point out, when you start doing that, you're not getting any calls for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
the important thing.
so you kind of one of them things you're like, man, I want to say something to him, but I can't say nothing to this dude
And
because
put yourself in a position of being the ref. You know, like you got one team that's yelling at you so bad. I mean, realistically, what are you going to do? I mean, like it shouldn't affect you because you're supposed to be a professional. You know, that's your job, like you said. But it does, man. When you have somebody just nagging the entire game, like, and you can hear that most annoying voice out of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can only imagine those guys are like, I hate it.
I think for the most part, one, it's a slippery slope because we all know what makes sports happen. Like one, money. Who gets that? Who allows that money to be made? You see it in the pros, fans. Yeah. If the NBA wasn't so televised, if it wasn't selling out arenas every night, they would be in the same boat as the WNBA because nobody comes and watch WNBA games, not enough at all. That's why their pay is the way their pay is. So I think it's a slippery slope in it. Like Jeff said, those dudes are human first, and you got to treat a human like a human being first. Like the respect of it.
That I think
the respect factor is the biggest factor. Yelling, that's a terrible call. It's a thin line for sure. But like one thing I would say, Jeff, you know this. I know you've seen it 1,000 times, just like I've seen it 1,000 times. The best refs ever communicate with the coaches, and then they don't even look in the stands. Like they don't even think about the stand. It's like they got earmuffs to the stands. The problem is some of these guys show that it's getting to them, or they start interacting with the fans. Oh, and that's like anybody. We seen it. So do you look up there, you say, "Shut up, woman," or you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's over. Like it's like I've seen it. I've seen, especially being in AAU world, it's 10 times worse than UIL. It's you would see a ref literally go talk to a fan and like communicate with them or talk crap to them, tell them they don't know what the heck they're talking about, sit down, and you want this shirt. I've seen that a lot. You want a whistle? Or
I've had a team mom get punched in the face by a ref.
Man.
At a tournament.
Yeah. So
I've also seen refs literally take their shoes off, take their top off, and say, "I'm done," and just walk out.
Yeah.
And delay games. I mean, it's bad. But like the thing is, like, here, and this is kind of what I thought about, and I haven't even mentioned you guys mentioned it to you guys because I wanted to bring this up on the podcast. So in everything we have an A level, like an A tier, a B tier, a C tier. Just generally speaking. When you're at A level, I think those are your top tier refs, the ones that, like you said, are not listening to the stands. They're there to do their job. They're great at what they do. I think in the high school and below world, we don't have any A tier. Okay.
A couple years ago, they were asking anybody to come out and ref.
So, and that's not against any refs because we do have great refs in the area. Yeah. I think then you go to the B tier, and you have pretty decent refs. But whenever you get people yelling at them constantly. I mean, think about it. There are humans, just like we discussed, and they're just having other humans yell profanity and just dumb stuff to them the whole game. I mean, then you get to the point where, okay, we do have pretty good refs in the B tier, but the more they deal with, it's going to go down. We're going to see a C tier of refs where it's just people going out to get a paycheck who can ignore the crowd, but they're kind of there to,
they don't even know what to call.
You know, this or that. And then, so that degrades the value of the whole game of itself. And that is what I think we eventually get to, which will be not good.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think higher pay, just like anything, higher the pay, more the training. And then, like you said, the fans definitely got to do their part.
Just back off a little.
But I think that helps anything. Like higher pay, higher training. Like if a lot of them say you're not paying me enough, like to put up with this. But I get you know why you don't see so much of that in college football or college basketball? You think a college ref? Go listen to today. Duke plays at 1:00. Go listen to what they get to hear when they make a bad call in Cameron Indoor Stadium. But you know why you don't have those dudes turn around throwing away? Because they're making six figures.
Yeah, they make good money and they're not listening to it.
They don't even care what they got to say.
But I think if for me too, if there can learn to be a balance with the refs, because on a night-to-night basis, there's gonna be that one ref that's just horrible.
Yeah.
But to me, the other two got to keep the game balanced.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
You know, because that's the thing that that's one thing. When it's lopsided, that by nature, naturally, people start, you know, I hate that people say this. I've caught myself saying it. They're paying the ref.
Somebody got to pay them.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
paying the ref.
yes, they're getting paid.
Oh,
Being
man.
a Burt guy,
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I love y'all. I'm from that area, but hearing Hershey complain for 20 years of my life about how Burt pays the refs and lopsided calls. I love y'all to death. My Huskies, keep going. Thank you. But I've heard that we would win by 35. And so, back
Y'all
there,
paid the
get
refs
on
good that night.
MySpace, get on MySpace back, and they're already complaining about the refs calls in the first quarter while we were already up 25.
I joke around about this, but man, if it keeps getting worse and worse, I mean, 10, 15 years down the road, are they putting up like hockey glass around the?
Nah, because they can't hear it.
That's what I'm saying. Or what about, like you said, what if the refs actually had some like noise canceling devices and they just didn't? You know, like you can make your calls and blow your whistle without hearing. You know, like I mean, I don't think it goes to that, but
yeah, for sure. It's definitely, like you said, it's a balance, like O said, and it's like a slippery slope. You start throwing out what the fans say, we're not coming, and y'all don't got money to pay everybody and stuff like that. Just like the ref says, we're not coming. Like it's a slippery slope.
I just hope the districts, you know, for me, I just hope all of the districts, you know, in City View, Dr. Thomas sent out a letter. Was a very great,
that was
great letter.
Yeah.
You know, and as a spectator himself, he understands, you know, but I think his biggest point that he was trying to get across was just control.
Yeah.
Learning how to control your emotions.
and respect.
And just respect them. And then
Come on, ref. That's a lot better than
You're fine.
yeah.
Go. But I will say it handicapped Burke this year. I feel like the Burke administration did whatever, like they weren't playing. You better not look at a ref, or you better not, or you're out of here. And it kind of handicapped. The best thing about Burke basketball was our student section. We had 3 administrators sitting in front of the student section waiting on somebody.
We had
to even
one kid
look
kicked
wrong.
out.
And I think they rescinded that. I think they rescinded that kid getting kicked out. Like, we
Against
didn't count as our
tally,
strike
yeah.
or whatever. But like, I feel like we were like, which they should be, because they're administrators and that's what they're there to do. But we had 2, one on one side, one on the other, waiting on a kid but not getting. And I feel like that takes a little bit too much out of the game.
Still let them do, you know, for the most part. But there was, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
But you got to think
limited.
from a coach. If I'm a coach, let's say I'm playing Burke, and I coach a team. If I know that I can say something to the ref to make the student section be quiet,
Yeah.
just off of they have to listen to you because we know this. That's the part. That's the part where you gotta be because if I'm in a tough environment, tough atmosphere, and I know this student section is rocking like this, I could say anything, like, "Hey man, that kid blew bubblegum bubbles. I didn't like it."
Go tell them to sit down and be going.
And what do they have to do? And
Talk
naturally,
about my mom.
but naturally, as the administrators at Burt, because they don't want to get a strike, everybody's walking around on eggshells.
Everybody.
Nobody. To me,
But we brought that upon ourselves, I feel.
Yeah.
You know, because of the past.
I personally feel the district should have gave a little bit of a pushback.
Yeah. I didn't hear the blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref chant all year in Burke. That was one of my favorites.
dang.
I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref. Like, I didn't hear that one time this year on Nuts and Bolts, we got screwed.
Yeah.
Like, there was some
They
some,
did the
some
push
big
it,
time.
the push it.
The push it, yes.
That was a good one.
I didn't hear a lot of those there because nobody was doing them this year. Because
It's like looking around. Like, where's he at? Okay, we can do this one.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing, I mean, I think overall we all agree, like, people are gonna yell at the refs, but just be respectful about it. You know, like, I feel like we mentioned, a ref comes in and they're like, "Oh God, is that one lady here or that one guy here?" Like looking up in the stands, like, "Oh, they're here." Gosh, it's gonna be one of those days. You know, like, don't let it get to that. Just be respectful, yell for your team, cheer for your team, but don't be crazy. All right, let's clean it up a little bit. Next thing is upcoming playoffs. We have one girls team left that's in our coverage, and that's Nakona Lady Indians. They're playing at time of recording. They're waiting to play Lipan for the ticket to the state tournament.
Regional tournament, right?
State tournament. Yeah, they're in regionals
damn,
now.
I forgot girls is a
week
ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, they beat Munster last night
That
pretty
were like
handedly.
16.
Yeah.
They were ranked like 16. How good is Lipan?
Lipan's number one.
No.
They're good.
Yeah. So
Let's go.
of course, we're pushing for Nakona Indians. Hopefully, by the time this recording gets out, they have already won, and they're going to state.
Where's their regional at? Anybody know?
The regionals in
Lubbock.
McKinney.
McKinney?
They're
Yeah.
McKinney.
Yeah,
They play, when do they play?
1:00.
1 o'clock today?
Yeah.
This will be a good one. I'm looking
Mamba mentality, Meg.
Let's go for real. Skylar and Megan, they're taking
turning
that
up.
team. Man, they got those shooters. It's like everybody on that team knows their role,
It's together.
and that's what makes them so good.
They're playing good team ball.
I love it. I love watching them play, man.
They
They're good.
are what I love about small town sports. That they are what so many schools. I feel like so many small towns, so many small area schools have got away from. It's like like Burke. I love it to death. But like I feel like even not just basketball. I feel like small town sports in places like that, kind of like Burke. It's kind of like we're in between. We have city type mindsets, but it's like I don't. It's when I came to Burke my freshman year, there was just a culture that certain things weren't said, certain things weren't done, certain things were like it was a known thing. Like you play hard as you possibly can. I don't care if you got 2 shots or 1 shot. Like you shut up, you listen to your coach. Like, you know what I mean? You take a charge if you get it. Like it was just little, like, you know your role. I Coach Danny Nix was a father figure to me, and the way he got certain kids to buy in was the best thing. As we know, getting kids to buy in is the best thing, but it was a known
It's the hardest thing.
It's the known thing, like known factor. My junior year when we made it to state, we had a big kind of like a big 3, you would say, scoring wise and output wise when it comes to stats. And it was so known, like guys got like you didn't look at a shot. Like guys that you know what I mean, like it was certain shots you knew not to take. It was certain things you knew not to do. It's
No,
like
I mean,
you know what I mean.
my
Just
role, I
accepting
knew
your
my role. You know, I was a defensive rebound. I was like Dennis Rodman, bro. I didn't score no points.
Yeah.
Barely, I mean, if I got a put back that I was clear to put back up, you know, we yell at kids all the time. Put it back up. That's your offensive rebound. Get your points. You know, but I was the same way, bro.
Yeah.
I'll get the rebound. I'll just kick it out to somebody who knows what they're doing.
It's just it's that factor, that mental factor. Like I remember, I know I'm getting kind of off talking, but I remember the year that we finally beat Lubbock Estacado, Darrell Gibbs, senior year. and they went to state again. I remember I'm really close to Estacato's coach, and he told me, Jay, I knew we were going to lose in the second quarter. He said when you probably know him, Blake Arbogast. You probably know Blake Arbogast dove to get a back tip. So not to steal the ball, not for a loose ball. He laid out, dove, and got a back tip. I knew we were going to lose. He was like, I've never seen somebody that played that hard. I've never seen kids willing to dive to get a back tap. Yeah. And so like that small, like Nakona, man, I watching them play and seeing their buy-in as we had Meg here, and she talked about the family as like it's
the community.
It's a culture to win basketball games there right now.
I think that the small towns, man, they're the towns. If I'm joking when I say this. I don't want nobody to go do this. But that's the town you go rob when there's a sporting event going on, because everybody's going to be at that. I love that. I mean, at Everman, awesome. When I was at Everman, it was the same way. When we had stuff going on, but it also builds togetherness on the team. Even in the small towns, you're going to have chatters, little drama, but there's always that one person that steps up and shut it down.
The culture is bigger than what you.
What I like to see is I got my camera out there, but I'm looking in the fans and stuff. And you see those little old ladies that, might be sitting by themselves, or, it's like, man, I bet she goes to every game.
Yeah. Did you know
everything?
Did you know Miss Francis at Burt?
Yeah,
did you know her?
So. Yeah.
The lady that always started the bulldog chants at the top of the thing. I think she passed away a couple years ago. But her and her husband sat at the top of the stands every game, white hair. So you could hear old videos of her yelling. And I remember her, like, that was a thing. Like, we walked in the gym, we went and talked to Miss Francis. She'd tell you, go get them, and she might say some profanity a little bit, but like the lady was
keep that off record.
The ladies was Burnett Sports, like that, like, and just seeing that, like, the buy-in from those communities and those players, it's evident, and that's a reason where they are. Why they are where they are.
Yeah.
Let's get them Nakona.
Yeah, go Nakona, girls. Come on. And then boys, I mean, we don't have the exact matchups, but I think we had 4 of our teams.
Hershey's going against Crum. Holidays versus who?
So Holiday won, Hershey won, City View won, and Seymour won.
Yeah, Holiday's
all
playing.
All of them won area matchups going to the quarterfinals.
Holiday's playing Jim Ned, which they played each other earlier in the tournament. Holiday beat Jim Ned by 2. Hershey's playing Crum, which they've already played. City View, I know, is playing Peaster, and I'm not sure who Seymour has yet.
Gosh, I want to big up Seymour. Like, they kind of went under the radar during the season. I think they went out and scheduled to where their record wasn't always great. They went and got some challenges, but it's paying off now.
Yeah.
They got a late run right now.
Kudos to the coaching out there. I got to see them play a little bit after the Nakona game the other day. And they played well. They were fired up, went through quick. I mean, played quick ball.
They're in the district with Nakona, right?
I believe so, because I remember they played City View. They played City View earlier, and they kind of took a butt whooping. But those butt whoopings,
they come back. They serve a purpose.
Because I think if Seymour is in that district with Nakona, that's impressive for them. They're the last team in their district standing in the playoffs. And Nakona won district, so it goes to show that you don't have to necessarily always win district. Because once you get in the playoffs,
0-0.
it's 0-0. Everything's even. So shout out to Seymour on that. That's a good job.
And good luck to all the boys teams next round. From now on the sideline. Hopefully everything goes good.
It'd be nice to see 4 teams in the tournament.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
In the regional
Hopefully
tournament.
we can get a couple of them at least.
It'd be nice.
But we're going to take a quick break right here, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back shortly. The realtor we trust is Kim Roark, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website at homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they've tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, Yojo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing-related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. Give AJ a call at 940-782-1194. All right. We're back. We got another topic that is hot water that we're going to talk about. Just because here at On the Sideline, we're not politically correct. We are for the kids. We're for the student athletes. They're our number one choice in everything that we represent and everything that we want to help and help them with what they need help with. You know, a lot of people may not be sticking their necks out for these kids, and we're going to. That's in the next segment. We're going to talk about district awards. We're going to try our hardest not to mention any names, any specific schools. We're kind of, wanting to come at like a general overall. I wouldn't say overall because they're not all like this, but a general speaking on the topic. I'll start with this. Everybody that got district awards, it means that you are great. You are doing something good in your district. There are coaches, there are athletic directors that are noticing what you're doing. So you've done a great job in getting those awards. We're not here to take any awards from anybody or attack any kids or anything like that. We want to say, great job on getting your award. You deserved it, and keep going. Keep playing hard. Keep doing your thing. You've clearly been noticed by people in your district, fans, athletic directors, people around. So we're not discounting anybody's awards. What we do want to bring up is the fact that there's a lot going on behind the scenes that's not related to basketball that's affecting student athletes. And that's what we're not for. We're totally against that.
Personal adults with their taking out their personal vendettas on other adults and using the kids as the pawns or their moves and
it's not affecting anybody but the student athlete. Yep. One person doesn't get an award because of something that happened in the past between two adults, and they're like, a lot of times the situation is, they, if they're a younger kid, they got a couple more years to try for that. They can get it next year, or but that's not the scenario. That's not how you should look at things. Like if an athlete performs the way that they're supposed to, and they outperform everybody in the whole district, there's an award for that.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on co-awards.
Yeah,
Don't get me started on co-MVPs because I'm against that as well.
So I think for me, just to kind of get my first thoughts out is these awards are awards that that's the first level of appreciation that you have an opportunity to achieve as a kid. That's meaningful. When you're a little, Super Bowls, all those things, those are great. But we all know when you get to high school, toy balls. But when you get to high school, the first thing you're like, man, your first tier is I got an opportunity to get district awards. And your district awards is how you measure that. This is how I thought it was supposed to be, how you measure up against your district. Were you the person that was leading scorer? Were you top 5 in these categories? And then my thing is as coaches, it's our job to also go in with non-biases. Mm-hmm. Of course, you want to go in and you want your player to get this and this and that. But the reality is you saw those teams play each other twice. Everybody's seen everybody, especially in basketball, because it's basketball season, so we're talking about basketball right now. So everybody plays each other twice. So you've had 2 glimpses of those kiddos to be able to make a deciding factor. And to me, the deciding factor when you're giving out those awards has to be about the statistics and the numbers. Because if you're not basing it off of statistics and numbers and not who's my favorite, then to me those awards are not justified. It becomes more political. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where that's where we've gotten to, where these awards are no longer about statistics, but these numbers are about political of who's the favorite.
Yeah, so let me break it down on because I did some research on this. I asked some coaches, try to figure out what exactly happens. So from my understanding is they get together, all the coaches and athletic directors, everybody that can make the meeting, obviously, and they start MVP. And then if I'm a coach, I have a candidate I would like to put out there for what they call the superlative awards, which is the MVP, offensive MVP, defensive MVP, newcomer of the year, and 6-man. Mm-hmm. For those awards, they say, okay, we'll start with MVP. I have player so-and-so. This is his or her stats. This is what he or she does for us, and this is why I'm nominating them. And then everybody who has a candidate for that award, specific award, then does each person presents their candidate. And then it goes to a voting style, but you can't vote on your own player. So you have to share a vote. You have to vote somebody else. So you can see where this can be very political.
Very.
Hey, so-and-so, or, I'm kicking somebody under the table. Remember what we said? That kind of stuff is so ridiculous. And it's the responsibility of each of the coaches and ADs like we talked about. But, man, they just got to start looking at, look at the stats only. That stuff's got to be only
Just imagine being a kid that you dominate your district. Say you win your district, undefeated. You win your district undefeated, and it's not even close. You lead your team in scoring. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Let's just say, let's say the offensive MVP. Okay. You lead your team in scoring, and it's not close. You dominate through there. How can you not at least offense? I mean, scoring is not everything, but for the offensive MVP, how do you not to get the offensive? You win the district, so you wasn't putting up empty stats.
So you're on the best team.
You're on the best team. You win it undefeated, and you lead your team in scoring. That should
or you lead the district in scoring.
The district in scoring.
I mean, it should be like that.
Yeah,
it should be like
it's just very obvious.
If they're 1 or 2, they co district title, and they have the highest scoring in the whole district. I mean, that should be automatic.
Yeah, that's just bomb. What I mean? Unless you got a kid that's averaging 15 assists, he or she may be the offensive MVP, but that's just blatant. If a kid leads in steals and blocks, the whole district, what award should they probably get? Like, we're not making like this is the easy stuff. They're making the easy stuff hard.
I think also too, this is a suggestion because we're going to talk about touch it in different ways. Instead of it being an open vote where you're looking your colleagues in their face. And right now, if I could be looking at Jay and looking at him like, boy, you know what I said? And you said something else.
A closed vote.
Yeah. Should be closed. You should have to, they should, once those kids, that they decide, okay, we're going into a closed session, submit your vote, put it in the box. That way, even if they do choose to vote with each other or against each other, it was not something that you have to.
And unanimous, like somebody not involved does the results, because then, then you don't know who I picked. Yeah. I'll say, oh yeah, that sounds good. We'll go. I got you, bro. But I'm sending in somebody else. I think that's a good idea. And that takes a little bit of political, actual presence, the political presence out of stuff. But I think
blatant at this point. It's that's the bad thing is. And what if imagine being a kid, just being a kid of what ranging from 14 to 18 to 19 maybe. Being that age and putting in so much work, and like O said, this is your first time to getting something kind of meaningful that you can it's etched in stone, and being a kid that dominates and works hard and does what you're supposed to do, and you win and you do all that, and you don't get what you feel like and what a lot of people probably feel like that you deserve. Imagine what you could do. Now, I would, as a parent, you would be like, hey, let's just get back to work. But as a kid, it's like, I'm not being seen. Like, imagine putting in that type of work in, and I'm not getting what I'm deserved.
And these kids, like you say, a lot of these kids that care about that kind of stuff are wanting to go to the next level.
You can crush a kid.
And, you're talking about a kid who, arguably should have been MVP. Just say.
Yeah.
There's a kid that's supposed to be MVP. And some political stuff goes on, and it takes it away from him or her. That's an award that holds a lot of weight. That's supposed to be.
You're not even the best kid in
your
one
district.
Of one. You know what I mean?
That's a one of one award. Don't again not the co-MVP stuff. Yeah. But
I think too. This has been going on.
Oh yeah.
I wish we could have talked about this last year. I'm not name dropping or anything. But the
biggest
to me, this same thing happened last year. And
everybody knows that situation.
And then I can say it, and then I can give the other accolades. How do you not get district MVP, but you go get all state?
Or state MVP.
Or
tournament.
What was it? 2A? Was it? What were they?
3A.
The 3A player of the year, which is not your district MVP.
Yeah, those are the things you kind of look like.
And people say there's no politics involved. Come on.
There's one person dominating a Power 5 or playing in a Power 5 conference, and last year they weren't the best player in their district that they won in dominant fashion. That just don't come on, man. What are we doing?
It don't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And it only affects the kid.
Yeah.
The parents are the ones that are trying to defend them when they, get on the message boards and, this and that. But honestly, if you can be a coach or an AD and you can live and literally leave that meeting and say, I picked based off the kid. I did what's right by the kid. Then you're good. But if you can't leave that meeting and say to myself or say to yourself, I really did what's best for the kids, then shame. That's a shameful thing.
Because that's your one service. Your service
so
of
bad.
These kids. You're not in there. Personal vendettas, personal relationships, all that stuff got to go out the window when we're talking about kids. The kids did, and half the time, say something corrupt happened and these kids were recruited to this place or something say that happened. The kid had nothing to do with the kid didn't move themselves. The kid didn't raise their hand and say, "Hey, I want to do this." This is again, that's an adult choice.
Or, a situation where maybe a parent comes in and brings their all-star kid with them. if those are decisions or situations that people don't want happening, you need to go against that at that time. Like when something like that's taking place, fight against it at that time. If it gets past that point and that kid goes to the school, then you got to accept that.
Says it's okay.
There's no job when these kids get to be older. We are not setting them up for success in the situation, some things that have been going on around. Because when they've been at a position, and I've been working at this place for 5 years, and there's so-and-so just retired. There's a promotion on the line. She's going to retire in a couple of years. But Johnny B came in, and he's hot stuff, man. He's really doing his job.
At a very high level.
But I've been here, right? Like I'm the one that's been here. That's my promotion. Johnny B ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, okay, it's not his fault. He's coming in to
really
this place and really good at his job and gonna get the promotion over me. You know, like that. That's what it boils down to. That's what it comes down to, and it's so frustrating, man, to think back that some people aren't getting these awards. Like you mentioned, these are the first awards that really. And these awards start holding weight when your varsity district award, like that's what you go off of. When college coaches are looking at this stuff, they're saying, "Oh well, you know, he or she got this award as a junior and a senior. What happened during their freshman and
with the consistency?" Just like kind of like big point on what you said and what O's probably the biggest supporter of this. They're freshmen. They're sophomores.
Yes.
Stop doing that. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like anything. That don't have anything to do with because they're a freshman has nothing to do with their production. Like, or you know what I mean? Like if the kid that if anything, I might give you a nod because you're a freshman doing it versus you being a senior doing it. You were 14 going against 18 and 19-year-olds and you were the better player. So they're a freshman. They got more years to win it, or
that's the mindset. That's what everybody says.
But that's the politically part.
Yeah,
exactly.
They have more years to achieve these awards. We see this in all sports, and it's frustrating that you have kids put in the work. They put in the hard work, and then the kid he's a senior this year. He's never received anything. We have to get out of the mindset of giving people things just because we don't want to hurt feelings. Yeah. These awards are not about not hurting feelings, because if that was the case, we should be giving everybody on everybody's team something. It's these awards are to separate the kids that have shown that they deserve these awards. And to separate, that means you have to do what's right amongst these kids. I'm going to say this because we live in a world of bullying. Mm-hmm. And we talk about all vast types of bullying. And when I say this, I don't take it lightly, because I kid and joke with people, and I was like, bullying, man, today's time is way different than when we were growing up, because, we could joke with our friends and it wouldn't be considered bullying. But there's so many different forms of bullying. To me, this is a form of bullying.
Oh, heck yeah.
These kiddos, when you do this, I at the end of the day, I love parents, but I could care less about a parent in this moment, because the parents are not the ones that have to look their peers in the face when their peers, because kids are cruel. Yep. That's just you have allowed kids to set up and be like, you thought you was good and you didn't even get MVP. Ha 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 ha. Because that's what kids do. We can't blame kids, but that's what they're doing. But as adults, we have allowed this to happen because we got it wrong. We decided to choose and say, you know what, we're gonna vote this way, even though because my thing is this. Let's say my son played basketball. He sucks at basketball. There's no way, if I'm head basketball coach, I'm going to go even in there and nominate him for MVP, knowing that he didn't deserve to get MVP. Yeah. There should have been every coach, to me, in these situations, know who the clear cut. Every now and then you have it where it's close. Yeah. It's close. You be like, man, this is close.
I think the Burke kids are going to have a little bit of something.
So, yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. And I think that there's got to be some way to fix it. And an idea would be, okay, put your votes in and then submit your votes to an outside source. Mm-hmm. And they, with all the information, all the statistics, and then they can say, oh, well, player A leads all these categories and they're the best team and they're the best this and they're the best this, but they're not even getting voted for the best award.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, because somebody at UIL I mean, I don't know that it's
Somebody
UIL,
gotta
but
be
like
making some UIL
somebody's
money,
got to have
or
something
TADC or
involved to
TADC.
stop this kind of stuff because it's, I mean, I don't know. It just sucks. It sucks for the kids, you know, like you said. I mean, it just sucks all around for them.
This area is small enough. Your idea is actually a great idea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard for the City View district to get with
A Burke district.
the Wichita Falls ISD or Burke District's AD and say, hey, we nominated you, and they could vote on who they want to send it to year to year. Be like, hey, this year we nominated.
I think it'd be anonymous.
Yeah,
like,
you
you know
know,
what I mean?
you know, Coach Free. Let's say Coach Free, he's the new AD at Wichita. Be like, hey, this you're going to be our arbitrator this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Let's get it.
We're gonna submit this. This is how our district voted. We're gonna submit it to you, but statistically, we're gonna send it to you. We're not gonna just send you names.
Yeah.
Send it to on the sideline.
Yeah, you know, just statistically, we're gonna send it to you, you know, and then Wichita Falls ISD would do the same thing. We're statistically gonna. The one thing Wichita Falls ISD does have going for them that's good is their AD is not in house. He's an admin downtown, so he's not within the schools. You see what I'm saying? So
He's
that
not
kind
really personally.
yeah.
connected
So
to him.
that kind of
But yeah, that do that. Like you said, no names, number,
number, statistics,
and
it.
submit. Say
and
this
the
is
record. You
so
put the
this is
record
what
on
they
top if
this
you
is
want
what the district and ADs voted on, and then this is the statistics for these players. Give us your honest opinion. If you don't feel comfortable doing it because of politics, we'll give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard.
next
especially
thing.
because you're probably 5 minutes away from another district, so it's not like and there's things called emails and stuff like that. It's not like it'd be too hard to do something.
Exactly.
So the next thing, how do they vote for Coach of the Year? That's something to like. Are you eligible for Coach of the Year if you finish not in the top two?
What are we basing? That's what I'm saying. That's what are we
Clearly not.
basing this off of? Like that. Like this goes on. What is the criteria for to winning a award here? Like that's what this is. I think this is everybody's argument in this. What went into this? What went into your thinking of this? Did he send 2 girls to college, or did he win the district, or he or she did they like? What are we basing this off of? Were they like Burke? Oh, never mind. We're not saying names. But did this team go 0 last year and they were?
And it could be a case where we're just out of the loop on that. I mean, they might have.
There's not a criteria. Let's not give them too much benefit of the doubt.
I mean, I don't know. We're not in the room,
That's
so
us being good guys.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So on the co-awards, we'll touch on that because I've never really been a fan of co-MVP. However,
what about
I
30
did.
people?
Yeah. So my thing is with the co-MVP, and I kind of come up with this yesterday. If there's a co-district champion, there can be a co-MVP.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Everything else, though, there shouldn't be.
Mm-mm.
There shouldn't be a co-offensive player. There shouldn't be a co-defensive player. There should definitely not be a co-six man of the year or a co-newcomer of the year. You know, like get rid of the co-awards. Like it might hurt the kid's feeling, but you know what? That's life.
I think what happens with that is the realness of not wanting to hurt people's feelings has taken over our what's right.
Yeah.
You can statistically have better numbers. You can statistically been more important to your team. And because what I was once told is if say Burt nominated Jay Gould and Holiday nominated Jeff, since it was only 2 that was nominated versus voting, they just said we'll do co versus having to have everybody vote on it.
And we got to get rid of that.
Yeah. So I think that's just what they do.
Unless Burke and Holiday were
split.
or co-champions of the district.
So I think they're doing that. It's one of those things where also too, I'm not a firm believer of you won district, you should get more awards. I can see how but it could have been 2 kids tearing it up. The rest of the kids weren't, but I do think that if you did win district, you should be considered for more awards because y'all did put in the work and y'all won as a team.
And I don't know. I mean, that's a good idea, but to me, it should just go back to the players' play and how they performed. Stats don't lie. Video don't lie. I mean, somebody's got to have an oversight over these district awards. And I think that's what it boils down to for me and a lot of people. Like, it's just crazy. It affects the players.
I always wonder, just because of course, we toot our own horns a little bit around here. Like, is it that this coach has more pull? You know what I mean? This coach has bigger name, so he kind of gets or he or she gets what they want out of the situation. Because I think I was district MVP for my sophomore year so 3 years in a row I got district MVP. So, like, I wonder if there was somebody fighting back, like, hell, he's a sophomore, and I wasn't a likable guy. So let's
no, I'm sure.
Like, let's get that. Like, is it more of, hey, this person has more. This coach is the big dog, or you know what I mean, or the big dog in the room. So they kind of bully everybody else, or get.
I'm sure there's a lot that goes on. You know, again, we're not in the room, but like I said, if we have an arbitrator, somebody overlooking it, that could help. But again, it should just be solely on that player and how they performed. It shouldn't be on anything else. I mean, some statistics can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah, you can
we
put
can
up some
all
empty
admit
stats.
that.
We can put up some empty stats and don't help your team win.
Exactly. There's somebody who can dribble through a press. The only person on a team that can dribble through a press. Say, that's not going to be on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
You know, or a really good leader, you know, verbally or something like that's not going to be on the stat sheet. That stuff kind of plays into the other awards. But, I mean, there's just got to be something.
There's
like,
no
that's
way
the
you
biggest
should
thing.
be on paper, be able to line up these kids and it be that big of a difference. Like there's some districts that you have a kid that averages 18 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists.
Put the kids on paper, like you said.
Like going against a kid that 6'3", 1. Like it can't. Now, like you were just saying, the intangibles of being a leader, being the best ball handler on your team, all that stuff. But it's not going to be that big of a difference when it comes down to the paper aspect, the paper. And you were saying this object or subject A killed subject B when they play. You know what I mean? Like the outcome of the games, they didn't affect.
So here's the challenge: let's have an arbitrator on top of the district award votes with some paper saying, okay, this is player A, B. I'm not even going to put their numbers on there because everybody knows who it is.
What school they go to.
I'm not going to put their grade. I'm not going to put their, I want player A has this statistics. Player B has this statistics. Player C, and so on and so forth. And then let's have that person suggest their awards and then compare the two.
Yeah.
You know, something has to be done that the politics can be taken out of these decisions, because ultimately, again, we're here for the kids, the student athletes that put their butts to work all year long, and they go in and they get robbed of something, and it's just not fair. So that's where we're coming from as on the sideline. That's our opinion on stuff. That's where we stand, and we'll always be here to support the kids. That's the first thing.
Kids
ever.
first. Kids first.
I do want to reiterate, since we've talked about all that, again, kudos to the young ladies and young men that have won district awards this year. Great job. You guys are more than deserving. We're not trying to strip you guys of something that you've already been crowned or an award. You received the reward. Congratulations. We're just trying to
Good job.
We're just trying to find a way to move forward to make sure that, let's say that you were more than well deserving of the reward. We want to make sure that you continue to get what you deserve and continue to earn, the things that you worked for, because we just don't want the adults to be able to control. I hate to say control, because I don't want this to come off as we're being disrespectful either to the coaches. Coaches are put in a tight spot when they're doing that, but we want this to be something that can be more honest versus political. We got to take the politics out of it and kind of focus on the realness of it. So congratulations again to all those kids.
Yeah, and I can't imagine the uncomfortableness in those meetings.
Oh, yeah.
But
Because
I think this.
some of those might be looking at, like you say, a lot of ADs and stuff. Some of those might be looking at somebody that they're trying to get a job from in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Or trying to get it. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's an uncomfortable feeling. And again, to piggyback on what both y'all said, this is not us attacking kids or in their what they did.
no.
This is us. I wouldn't even say attacking the system, or like this is us bringing our opinion against adults taking stuff out on kids.
Maybe a semi call out.
Yeah.
No, so overall, we'll come back to everything. I mean, let it be about the kids. Let it be about the athletes that have done the work, you know. And like I said, if you can come out of that meeting saying, I think I did what's best by the kids, by the players, then you're all right. If not, then maybe figure some things out. But that's going to end the show.
Want to get some closing statements?
You want some closing statements?
No,
What
just
you got?
on about the All-Star game a little bit. If you didn't make our list, of course, all season, if somehow we overlooked you, I want to send your huddle, or maybe if you want to send it to us as a team, or just us personally or something like that. And because we're going to say we don't have enough spots or something like that later on, like we want to give some local 9-4-0 kids a shot. Of course, you have to be elected. It'll go through a process that we elect you. But I'm sure if we get numbers down and we still want to have something in line, or some kids in line and some thoughts, in a senior huddle, me, Coach O, Jeff, Coach Evan, or I feel like that's something we need to kind of do.
We will. We will definitely have some kind of, process to get. But surprisingly, we've got some pretty good responses.
Oh, it's going to be.
It's going to be a big. It's going to be a big event, and it's only going to get bigger and better. That's the goal. I mean, we're going to start. We've decided to start where we're going to start, and we're just going to get bigger and better each year. So, if you could, and to piggyback off of what Jay said, if you're not on the list,
get on the list.
Get on it. Get on the list. Let's go.
So
We ready to have you. So, you got anything else for anything? We're good to
just
go?
mainly thanks everybody for been tuning in. We've been having a lot of positive feedback. We appreciate you guys. Again, I consider us like he said, not politically correct podcast. We want to make sure that we kind of make you think, stir the pot a little bit. But ultimately, man, we're really, really about the children. I don't want anybody to think that we're sometimes it can seem that we're being biased or whatever, but we're not. We argue about all types of stuff daily. So if you feel like we're leaving anything out, your school that's within our coverage zone is not getting the coverage that they need, send it to us. We're an open book. We want to celebrate all the kids, and sometimes we miss things. So just make sure you hit us up. Let us know what you think. Continue to watch the podcast, share, and go be great.
Yep. And exactly right. You guys have something you want to send to us, we'll be more than happy to share it if it, meets our guidelines of what we're trying to do. And that's it. Thank you guys for coming. We're good. We're going to shut it down for today. Appreciate you guys coming. Make sure you watch it, share, subscribe, like, all that stuff. And we appreciate you guys. See you later.